house, I completely remembered I'm not wearing my mic. Hi, my name's Leah Makin and I'm the founder of Studio Makin Interior Design based in Leeds, Yorkshire. And I thought I would do sort of like a bit of a mini video series just going through our bathroom renovation here at our own home, which we basically bought in 2020, COVID of course. And we lived in it for about 2 years, and then obviously we went and moved to the Netherlands in between that, and we were there for 3 years. And whilst we were over in the Netherlands, we rented out the house. In the middle of that, delightfully, the tenants had a leak in the bathroom, and they never decided to tell us about it. So that is one of the major problems of the bathroom and why we're planning to renovate it. So putting tea in here would help as well. My God. Basically, yeah, when we bought the house, it's kind of like an okay-ish bathroom. Fine for some, obviously each to their own for the taste and things, but it's very builder grade. And I'm going to make you tea, and I don't know how you're going to carry it whilst filming me, but fine, we'll manage. And it's very builder grade, so kind of greys and whites, and just was never to our taste, but previously we didn't have the budget to get around to doing it. So we now decided once we're back, and obviously the leak has caused it to kind of be pushed up, making it the perfect time to start the renovation. I'm going to let that brew for a minute. You can stay there for now. Right, let's go up and have a look at the bathroom. So, excuse the mess of the living room at the minute, still a work in progress. But as you can see, I mean, you might as well come round this way a little bit. But as you can see, we now have a giant hole in the roof, which is not a nice feature at all. But thank God we kind of resolved the main problem that basically ended up being the shower drain just there was fully leaking with the pipe all the way along. And as you can see, it's water damage. Luckily, it's not affected any of the actual main joists. But the plumber temporarily fixed it. But for some reason in this corner, which I noticed more so than him, there is still a leak. So every time we have a shower, now we get water coming down onto the ceiling and onto the furniture. So that's one of the major problems. But everything is ready. We're starting demo in only a few days. So we've got everything ready over here. Everything over there, so that's toilet, shower, lighting, everything there. And then we've got, mainly this is all the wall paneling and a few of the other bits, but let's go through that in the bathroom, and we'll show you what the plan is. Right, welcome to the bathroom. I'm out of breath from climbing these stairs. Set my tea down. So here we are in the bathroom. This is the only bathroom in the house, so this is a terraced house. It's 4 stories. We eventually plan to put in a small water closet downstairs in the kitchen, fingers crossed, which will then free up sort of another toilet. So at the minute, as you can see, as I said, it's very builder grade. To some people's taste, it's perfectly fine and nice. It doesn't sit nicely within the rest of the house and the rest of the designs. It's not a big bathroom, but it is lovely and bright. To say it's kind of east facing we do get a lot of light, which is quite nice, and it lasts throughout the day. It's 2 meters by 2.5 meters, so it's not huge, but it's got everything that you need. You know, at least it's still kind of got a bath and a separate shower. So because obviously I said about the plumbing issues downstairs, we obviously have had to make sure we sort of save on costs a little bit. So we're keeping the layout predominantly as it is. We're only making 1 or 2 changes with the layout. The shower is going to stay exactly as is pretty much, but obviously everything's going to be ripped out, including all the wall tiles, and taking it back to the studs, same with the floors, ripping everything out. The shower, there's nothing wrong with the size, but we actually found an X-display shower, which is absolutely beautiful. It's got really, really thick glass. It's about 8 millimeters thick, and it's got really simple brass fittings. So it'll kind of look very nice and clean, versus like this is a bit too chunky. So that's about 100 meters wider on each side. So it's going to come out a little bit here, and then the contractor is going to build up the stud wall just a little bit further to accommodate that on this side. But predominantly that's going to stay as it is. It's going to have we've gone for mandarin stone. We actually went for mandarin stone on the floor and the wall tiles. I must have searched through every single tile company and all the options. Eventually landed on the mandarin stone, the Jude Bone, I think it's called. I can add it in the links anyway. And that's going to be tiled all the way from floor to ceiling, all the way up. And then we're going to run this kind of one little row of the square tile along just the border, along the bottom, and then the rest of the pattern is going to be in a brick layout all the way up then. So quite nice and traditional, you know, keeping it timeless. That was the whole idea of the room, was making it soulful, timeless, and just kind of filled with our personality and making sure it ties in with the rest of the house. I didn't want to do anything that we're going to have to feel like we would change 5 years down the line, because I would much rather do something timeless. So as with the timeless, we're going to have a nice traditional brass shower column within that. Everything in the original plans was to have unlacquered brass. I mean, the original plans were very grand. It was going to be unlacquered brass, marble everywhere, very unique wall tiles, and the budget obviously had to come down a little bit from there, which is fine. So going back to the layout, as we said, everything's going to stay as is. The toilet is actually going to move up a little bit because obviously the shower will be then coming out. So we're going to scooch along with the toilet a little bit. That's going to be changed out for a more traditional one with a black toilet seat. And then we're going to have some nice artwork above here. The bath is staying as is. In the original design plans, the concept was to use the same marble on the vanity unit and have the marble bath slab with the curved back along here, which is something I've absolutely always wanted. But once we started pricing it up, plus the splashback, it was just running the budget way far out. So that was one of the things that we could save on cost. So we're just going to keep the bath as is. Obviously, this will all be ripped off, and then that's going to be bordered. The whole walls, we're going to do vertical wall paneling. Going just a little bit wider, not hugely wide, so it's more New England, but it's kind of like in between sort of a bead and board. So it's kind of meets the best of both worlds. That's going to be fully clad from floor to ceiling, and same on the bath front on here. With the window, we're going to be adding an actual window board on here, just to give it a bit more, well, a little bit more space and a bit more impact. And then on the all 3 sides, we're going to be adding an architrave, just to kind of make it feel a little bit more considered, and add some more architectural detail. Same with the flooring, we're going to add in the skirting because the rest of the house has skirting. So just to tie in all those other kind of architectural elements within the house, we're going to add in skirting all the way around, obviously minus the shower. And then on the window, we have got a cafe curtain that's going to be running sort of this sort of height, just to give a little bit of added privacy during the day. And then we are going to have a Roman blind on here, but a relaxed Roman blind, just to give it some more softness to the room. Then what is next? The vanity, this is horrible. Can't wait to see it gone. We're going to go with Parker and Howley for a vanity unit, which I'm really, well, it's already ordered. It's already made and everything. We went for the Italian range. So the problem is because one of the main things is this has storage in it, basically. And once we lose all of that, we had to make sure that we were going to find somewhere to place it all in. So we needed to make sure that we were going to have some drawer storage rather than going just for a standalone basin unit, which is much more traditional, but we needed the storage. So we've got a two drawer. I think the top one actually is void, and then it'll have some basket storage underneath, and that's going to be in a nice kind of like dark stain. And then we've got a local stone yard that's going to be doing a quartz top, just for a bit more practicality. And then that's going to have an OG profile on it, and then just a simple square back on it, so about 175 millimeters up, so it's kind of got enough space to protect all the paneling. We are then going to add in, I've got two beautiful brass wall lights that are going to go here, and then we've got a really beautiful pooky mirror that's going to sort of go there and get rid of this horrible thing. And then I've realised, coming back to the bath actually, on here, I can't wait to see this be gone. If anybody wants it, let me know. We're going to be boxing it in basically. So we're going to box it in all the way up to the ceiling, and then there is going to be 3 identical shelves with a trim on it on here, so we can add in some decorative baskets for like the toilet rolls and towels and things like that, and sort of a little bit extra storage space. Try and get as much depth out of it as possible. So that is going to be all boxed in there. And then here, this is like a bit of a major, it's not a major problem, but basically you end up almost burning your hand on the towel rail nearly every day. So it's actually going to be moved up and kind of behind the door, just to give it a bit of a better position. And then the flooring, as I mentioned, we're ripping out the flooring. It is going to be Mandarin Stone's Leon Disace. It's kind of not the typical like lighter black and white. It's a bit more of like a stony. Actually, I'll show you the samples. It's like a grey and a stony kind of colour, and we're going to do that in a checkerboard pattern along here. So there we are. So that's going to be running in a checkerboard pattern, and then we're going to run that fully into the shower as well, so as a wet room style. We're not going to do, ideally, kind of like a toe stubber or anything like that. It's just going to run flush all the way into there, which makes the space feel bigger and lighter still, rather than blocking it off. Obviously, it's another cost. That's one of the things that we were happy to push on a little bit. I was quite adamant about wanting the really textural limestone flooring, so that's one of the things that we were happy to push on the budget, and then to run it into there as well. So, you know, we could have used porcelain, but these were just too beautiful to not go with. And then let's have a look. So here is the fabric samples. So here we've got the coffee curtain, and then this beautiful print from Ashley Mercier there. It's not the best to see there, but so that's what's going to be in the relaxed Roma blind. So that'll be really nice all together. And then let's have a look what else. We've then got the vanity. So that's the stain finish in the stone. And then here are the wall tiles. So these are the Mandarin stone. So then we're going to have the one run of that along the bottom, and then that running the brick layout along all the way up to the ceiling then. And then the colours, as you can see, wall colours have been kind of trying to plan everywhere. And as I always mention, you'll probably see on my posts, test all your wall colours. test them on each wall, every little bit, even behind the door. They're hiding here. So, but we eventually landed on, we came all the way full circle back to coat paints, because I've not properly tested them yet. I normally always go for fire and ball, and sort of little green, but I've not properly tested coat, and we just kept coming back to these. So I'm really excited about trying them. We've basically got the wall colour, which you can't see, the accent colour, which is going to be for all of the skirting and the back of the door, in this beautiful kind of well-grounded colour, which goes really nicely with the floor tiles. So that'll be nice bumped up against it. And then the ceiling, because it is your third wall, we're going for safe play. It's kind of like a bit of a off-white colour. So I'm very excited about trying them out. And I think that's it. I think that's most of the things covered. We're going to keep the ceiling light because it's fine. It was from John Lewis. It does the job. And that's it for now. So demo is any day now. I want to say I'm excited, but I'm probably going to be covered in dust for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and everywhere's going to be messy, but that's fine. That's part of a renovation. But I'm excited to kind of see it come together. So I'll see you next time when I'm stood in here and everything's bare brick, or maybe we've got it tiled. We'll see. I'll bring you along for the journey, and then we can do a final little get together when it's all finished and it's looking much nicer. So yeah, so make sure you stay tuned and keep watching along for the renovation, and thanks for joining me. See ya.